Hi guys, I'm Jocelle. I'm the founder of Asian Pop Weekly and Fluffle, and I'm very, very excited to be here with my good friend Anie Fann, who is going to be on our Stay Fluffy showcase lineup today. So we're going to do a few questions for Asian Tones. First of all, why don't you introduce yourself to their viewers?
Hi, my name is Anie Fann, and I'm a singer-songwriter from Taiwan. My styles are really like all over the place, but I would increasingly describe my style as being kind of like existential pop, if there's such a thing, because I like to tackle the big questions in life. Like, I'm not into writing about a lot of love songs or breakup. I really want to write about why are we here? Where do we belong? Where are we going? Like, big questions.
Yeah,
So,
I totally see
yeah.
that, and that's one of the reasons like I fell in love with your music in the first place. What is one song that I guess you would recommend to your new audiences?
Right. I would recommend a song off my first album called 跑不过人家, which in English is called Outrun. And it's really a song about being an underdog. It's really about fighting to not let people tell you that you're not good enough. It's really about pushing back against what society has put on you, like the pressure society has put on you.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
one thing that's really interesting about you for me when I first found out about your music is that you were actually based in Taiwan for the longest time and a big
Yeah.
part of the Taiwanese indie music scene. But I was so surprised to realize that you're actually like Taiwanese Canadian and you grew up in Canada and you also like studied in the US. So
Yeah.
can you share a little bit about like how your heritage affects your music and your creativity?
Yeah, I think for me, the kind of background that I come from, like being Taiwanese and having like a Western education, growing up in Western environments, it really, I think a lot of third culture kids can relate to, which is like you kind of feel like you don't fit into any culture in particular. You're kind of like in the middle. So that is like a theme that I write a lot about. And literally, the first album was called "Can You or Can You Not Understand My Mandarin," which is like, from me, I was like, my Chinese is so bad, but I still want you to try and understand what I'm saying. And so that song is about miscommunications, about culture clashing, and I have a lot of songs in that vein where it's like, where do I belong? What group do I most associate myself with? And so I think that definitely seeps into my music.
For sure. I
Yeah.
think like the Asian diaspora experience is so much part of your music, and it's so interesting to see you translate that specifically into Chinese as well, which most of your previous songs are in Chinese. Can you share what is one moment as part of your music journey that you've been the proudest of?
I think actually right now I'm super proud of where I am.
Aww,
because
love that.
because I haven't done a show in like 3 years. I'm so thrilled that you invited me to come do this. And the last 3 years I've been starting my family, and so I've taken kind of a step back from doing music, and it's been a bit hard because writing music and performing and being a musician, it's so much a part of my identity. So not having access to that was really tough. It at times I'm kind of like, who am I? Like, am I still me? Like, I don't know. So I'm really happy and proud of the fact that now I'm starting to write again. I have time to start on some of my own projects, and so I'm really proud of now.
Oh, I'm really proud of you too. And as you mentioned, like motherhood has inevitably made itself a part of your creative process as well. Now that
Yeah.
you are juggling everything and also like still wanting to pursue music. So how has that been for you?
I think it's a big challenge because I think people always say like, your life is going to change totally once you become a mom, a dad, a parent. And even knowing that, I still was not prepared for how much my life would be changing. And I think for me, especially with writing, the stuff that I would have written about before would have been totally different from what I would write about now, because my perspective has changed. I really write about things that are really important to me. I don't like chase trends or like see what's popular now. Like I really write about issues that I care about. I think that makes the song very authentic. So for me, the fact that, you know, what I cared about 3 years ago is totally different from the stuff that I care about now. I think that's a huge shift in perspective.
For sure.
Yeah.
And even before like Raising a Human, you've already been like doing so many things by yourself. Like you've been independent for most of your career, a multi-instrumentalist, like singer-songwriter, and like producing a lot of your own stuff as well. How do you juggle all of that, and why do you think it's so important to you that you continue to pursue all these different like aspects of your creativity?
I don't know. I guess I've always like worn a lot of hats, but I didn't really start out that way. And so I think for me, it just organically grew. Like, you know, I started, you know, in my 20s, I was somebody who just really loved to sing, and I would go to like singing competitions. And then I had written some stuff, but I hadn't really written a song. And it was only really after, in a certain competition, somebody was like asking me like, hey, do you have a 加分题? So it's like you perform the song, and then if you have like a little talent you could perform, they will like add some bonus points onto your song. And then so at that point I was like, I don't have any other talents. I only know how to sing. And the host was really nice because this is a very defining moment for me. She was like, well, do you play instrument? Do you do impressions? Like, are you funny? Do you tell a joke? Or do you write songs? And I was like, well, I do write songs. And so that was like the first moment where I kind of felt empowered to share my songs and to also feel like, wow, somebody is interested in something that I wrote. And so kind of this experience was like the starting point of me trying out different things. And like, so throughout the journey, you know, it was like, even if I didn't know how to do something, I would like, oh, well, maybe I could try to arrange this, and maybe I could try to do a bit more and produce, you know, co-produce my track. So I think it was just really lucky for me that I met the people that I did. I had the experiences that I had, and I felt empowered to kind of grow organically and do all the different things.
Lovely. And I think organically is like the best way to, that so many like people who are multi-talented fall into all the different areas of like their artistry. So now, you know, this is your first performance back after 3 years. What do you see like coming up next for you after this?
So I am actually working on one big project right now, which is like, and I've shared this with you before, which is my second album. When it came out in the middle of the pandemic. So people were not allowed to have performances at that time. Everybody was still kind of not in the right mood. Everybody was panicking still. And I was on a schedule to release. I had to do all these things. And so I thought it was quite a shame that the album came out and I wasn't able to really allow more audiences to hear it. And so what I've been doing now is I was thinking, like, before I start writing again, I really want to give this album a second chance. And so what I've been doing is actually I've been doing some animation and trying to get the songs to be visually represented, I guess. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. It's like a totally new area that I'm not very familiar with, but it's so fun. And now using like the AI video and image generation, it's just wild. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
I'm so excited to see what you come up with next, and also for your music videos and your new music coming out soon. Thank you so much for being here with me, and thank you for being part of my show.
Thank you.
Yay!